My child, do not scroll away. Do not let this moment pass you by. Stop for just a moment and listen carefully, because what I am about to tell you is something your heart has been waiting to hear for a very long time. This is not an accident. You are not hearing these words by chance. Before this day began, before you opened this video, before you even realized how desperately you needed this message, I already knew this moment would come. I knew where you would be. I knew what would be weighing on your heart. I knew the questions you have been carrying in silence. You have asked me for a sign. You have asked me for direction. You have asked me if I still see you. And today, I am answering. My beloved child, this is the moment you asked me for. I know there were nights when you felt forgotten, nights when you stared into the darkness, wondering if your prayers had reached heaven at all. You whispered my name through tears. You asked why the answer had not come. You asked why the door remained closed. You asked why the waiting seemed endless. I heard every word. Not one prayer was lost. Not one tear fell unnoticed. Not one cry escaped my attention. Even when you felt alone, I was there. Even when you thought I was silent, I was working. Even when you believed nothing was changing, I was arranging things behind the scenes in ways you could not yet see. My child, I need you to understand something today. The waiting season has not been wasted. The pain has not been wasted. The disappointment has not been wasted. Every battle, every delay, every obstacle has been preparing you for what comes next. That is why I brought you here. That is why these words are finding you right now. Because you are standing closer to your breakthrough than you realize. The enemy wanted you to give up before this moment arrived. He wanted you to believe that nothing would ever change. He wanted you to stop expecting, stop believing, and stop trusting me. But you are still here. You are still listening. And that is not a coincidence. That is evidence that I have been sustaining you through every difficult season. My child, there is something shifting around you even now. You may not see it yet, but heaven is moving. Doors that seemed permanently closed are beginning to unlock. Circumstances that looked impossible are beginning to change. People, opportunities, and answers are being aligned according to my purpose for your life. I know you have been tired. I know you have been carrying burdens you were never meant to carry alone. I know there were moments when fear spoke louder than faith. But listen to me now. Do not allow fear to speak over my voice. Do not allow doubt to steal what I am revealing to you. Because this moment is different. This moment is holy. This moment is appointed. Today I am reminding you that your story is not ending in disappointment. Your story is not ending in defeat. Your story is not ending in sorrow. A new chapter is beginning. A new season is approaching. And before this message is over, I want you to open your heart completely and hear these words. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not overlooked. You are loved. You are chosen. And what you have been praying for is closer than you think. My beloved child, before I speak about where I am taking you, I want to remind you of something your weary heart needs to hear. I saw every battle you fought in silence. Every single one. I saw the struggles you never posted about. I saw the tears you wiped away before anyone could notice. I saw the moments when you smiled for others while your own heart was breaking inside. You may have convinced everyone around you that you were fine, but you could never hide your pain from me. I saw it all. I saw the nights when sleep would not come, because your mind was crowded with worries. You laid awake replaying conversations, thinking about bills, relationships, mistakes, disappointments, and unanswered prayers. You stared into the darkness, wondering how much longer you could keep going. And while the world slept, I sat beside you. You felt alone, but you were never alone. I heard every sigh that escaped your lips. I heard every prayer you whispered into your pillow. I heard every desperate cry that never became words. My child, there were moments when you felt like no one truly understood what you were carrying. People saw your smile, but not your struggle. They saw your strength, but not your exhaustion. They saw your success, but not your sacrifice. They saw the surface while I saw the depths. I know how hard you have fought just to keep moving forward. I know the courage it took to get out of bed on certain mornings. I know the effort it took to keep believing when everything around you suggested that nothing would ever change. There were days when you felt like giving up. Days when disappointment became so familiar that you almost accepted it as your future. Days when fear sat beside you and whispered that your best days were behind you. But even then, I was sustaining you. Even then, I was strengthening you. Even then, my hand was holding you when you did not realize it. My child, I saw the battles you fought against anxiety. The thoughts that raced through your mind, the fears you never shared, the pressure you carried alone because you did not want to burden anyone else. You tried to be strong for everyone around you. You tried to keep everything together. But inside, you felt like you were falling apart. I saw that battle. I saw the loneliness. I saw the disappointment. I saw the heartbreak. I saw the moments when someone you trusted let you down. The moments when promises were broken. The moments when words cut deeper than anyone realized. You wondered why people could walk away so easily from something that meant so much to you. You questioned your worth. You questioned your value. You questioned whether you were truly loved. My child, listen carefully. What others failed to give you does not determine your worth. Their rejection never changed your identity. Their betrayal never changed my love for you. Their absence never changed my presence. I remained. I stayed. I never left. Even when you felt abandoned by people, I was standing beside you. Even when your heart was shattered, I was collecting every broken piece. Even when you questioned whether you mattered, heaven still called you precious. Do you know how many times I protected you without your knowledge? Do you know how many dangers I kept from reaching you? Do you know how many situations could have destroyed you if my hand had not intervened? You only see the battles you faced. I see the battles you never had to face because I fought them for you. My beloved child, there were moments when you thought you were barely surviving, but from heaven's perspective, you were overcoming more than you realize. Every trial strengthened you. Every disappointment refined you. Every delay developed something inside you that comfort never could. The enemy wanted those struggles to break you. Instead, they prepared you. The enemy wanted those seasons to make you bitter. Instead, they made you deeper. The enemy wanted you to quit. Instead, you are still here listening to my voice today. And that is not a small thing. That is evidence of my faithfulness. Because despite everything that tried to stop you, you survived. Despite everything that tried to discourage you, you kept moving. Despite everything that tried to silence your faith, a small flame continued to burn inside your heart. I protected that flame. I guarded that hope. I sustained that faith. And now I want you to hear me clearly. Nothing you endured was wasted. Not one tear, not one prayer, not one battle, not one lonely night. I saw it all. I carried you through it all. And the very struggles that almost convinced you to give up are becoming the foundation for the testimony I am about to write through your life. So lift your head, my child. Take a deep breath. The battle that nobody saw was seen by me. The pain that nobody understood was understood by me. And the faith you held onto in the middle of that storm has not gone unnoticed in heaven. I saw every battle you fought in silence, and I have not forgotten a single one. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand before you can fully step into the season I have prepared for you. The delay was never a punishment. I know there were times when you wondered if I was displeased with you. You looked at the closed doors. You looked at the unanswered prayers. You looked at the opportunities that disappeared, and deep inside, you began to ask yourself a painful question. Did I do something wrong? You wondered if I had turned away. You wondered if your mistakes had disqualified you. You wondered if your failures had caused me to withhold my blessings. But hear me clearly, my child. The delay was never my way of punishing you. It was my way of protecting you. You saw a closed door. I saw a trap behind it. You saw a missed opportunity. I saw a path that would have led you away from your purpose. You saw rejection. I saw redirection. You saw disappointment. I saw preparation. The difference between what you saw and what I saw is greater than you can imagine. My child, if I had given you everything you asked for the moment you asked for it, some of those blessings would have become burdens. Some relationships you wanted desperately would have wounded you deeply. Some opportunities you prayed for would have distracted you from your calling. Some doors you begged me to open would have taken you somewhere I never intended for you to go. That is why I said no. That is why I said wait. That is why I remained silent when you wanted immediate answers. Not because I did not love you, but because I loved you too much to give you something that was not right for you. Remember this. A loving father does not give his child everything they ask for. A loving father gives what is best at the right time. There were seasons when you thought nothing was happening, but heaven was busy preparing what your eyes could not yet see. I was working on people. I was arranging circumstances. I was removing obstacles. I was aligning connections. I was preparing doors that no human power could close. While you were waiting, I was working. While you were praying, I was preparing. While you were wondering, I was arranging. Nothing about your delay was random. Nothing about your waiting was wasted. Every day carried purpose. Every setback carried purpose. Every closed door carried purpose. Even the things that broke your heart carried purpose. My child, look back for a moment. Think about the things you once cried over. Think about the doors you once begged me to open. Think about the people you once wanted to stay. Now look at where you are today. Can you see how many of those things would have harmed you? Can you see how many times my protection disguised itself as disappointment? Can you see how many times my mercy looked like delay? You called it rejection. I called it rescue. You called it abandonment. I called it guidance. You called it silence. I called it preparation. My beloved child, there are blessings that require preparation before they can be trusted to your hands. I could not release certain things into your life until your heart was ready. Because if the blessing arrives before the character is formed, the blessing can become a burden. That is why I used the waiting season to strengthen you. I taught you how to trust me when you could not see. I taught you how to walk by faith and not by sight. I taught you how to depend on my voice rather than your circumstances. You may not have enjoyed the process, but the process transformed you. You are not the same person you were when the waiting began. You are stronger now, wiser now, more discerning now, closer to me now. And because of that growth, you are prepared for what comes next. My child, I need you to release every thought that says I was punishing you. Release the guilt. Release the shame. Release the fear that I have forgotten you. I have not forgotten you. I have been guiding you every step of the way. Even when you could not see my hand, it was there. Even when you could not hear my voice, I was speaking. Even when you could not understand my plan, I was unfolding it perfectly. And now, as you stand at the edge of a new season, I want you to remember this truth. The delay was never proof that I had abandoned you. The delay was proof that I was preparing something greater than you imagined. Because had I answered too soon, it would have hurt you. Had I opened the door too early, it would have overwhelmed you. Had I released the blessing before its appointed time, it would not have become the miracle I intended it to be. So trust me now, my child. What felt like a delay was actually my love protecting your future. And very soon, you will understand why I made you wait. My beloved child, one of the greatest misunderstandings of your journey has been this. You mistook my silence for my absence. You believed that because you could not see movement, nothing was happening. You believed that because you could not hear my answer, I was not listening. You believed that because the door remained closed, I had forgotten your request. But hear me now. What you called silence was my working. What you called waiting was my preparation. What you called delay was my divine process unfolding exactly as it should. My child, I want you to think about a seed. When a seed is placed into the ground, it appears as though nothing is happening. Days pass, weeks pass, sometimes even longer. From the outside, there is only dirt, no evidence, no movement, no visible growth. But beneath the surface, life is developing, roots are forming, strength is growing, preparation is taking place. The hidden work is what makes the visible harvest possible. Your life has been much the same. While you were looking for visible signs, I was working beneath the surface. While you were asking, Lord, where are you? I was already arranging things that would eventually become the answer to your prayer. I was working in places your eyes could not see. I was working in hearts you had never met. I was working through circumstances you did not understand. I was moving pieces into position. I was aligning opportunities. I was removing obstacles. I was preparing doors. I was creating pathways. Nothing was standing still. Heaven was moving. You simply could not see it yet. My beloved, there were times when you begged me for immediate answers. You wanted clarity. You wanted certainty. You wanted the entire picture. But if I had shown you everything I was doing, it would have required no faith at all. Faith grows strongest when you trust me before you see the outcome. That is why I sometimes work in hidden places. Not to frustrate you, not to ignore you, but to teach you to trust my heart even when you cannot trace my hand. Do you remember the moments when you felt like giving up because nothing seemed to change? Those were often the moments when the greatest progress was being made. The enemy wanted you to quit during the final stages of preparation. He wanted you to walk away before the breakthrough arrived. He wanted you to interpret my silence as rejection. But my silence was never rejection. My silence was construction. My silence was preparation. My silence was protection. While you were waiting, I was building something stronger than what you originally asked for. Many times, you prayed for a small answer, but I was preparing a greater one. You prayed for relief. I was preparing transformation. You prayed for a door. I was preparing an entirely new direction. You prayed for enough. I was preparing abundance. You prayed for survival. I was preparing purpose. Can you see now why the process took time? The plans I have for you are larger than the requests you brought before me. That is why I could not rush what needed to mature. My child, consider the sunrise. No one sees the exact moment when darkness begins to lose its power. The night appears unchanged. The horizon looks the same, yet little by little, light is approaching, and suddenly, what was hidden becomes visible. The sun appears. The darkness retreats. Everything changes. Not because the sun started moving at that moment, but because it had been approaching all along. That is what has been happening in your life. You thought nothing was changing, but the light was already coming. You thought the answer was far away, but it was already moving toward you. You thought heaven was silent, but heaven was already at work. Even now, things are shifting that you cannot yet see. People are being positioned. Conversations are taking place. Opportunities are forming. Answers are moving closer. The pieces are coming together according to my perfect timing. That is why I tell you, do not judge your future by your present circumstances. Do not measure my activity by what your eyes can see. I am doing far more than you realize. I am working in ways that exceed your understanding. I am accomplishing things beyond your imagination. And one day soon, you will look back at this season and realize that while you thought heaven was silent, heaven was busy. You will see how every delay connected to a greater purpose. You will understand why certain doors closed. You will recognize why certain relationships ended. You will finally see the wisdom behind the waiting. And when that day comes, you will not say, God abandoned me. You will say, God was working all along. So, do not lose heart now, my child. Do not let appearances deceive you. Do not allow temporary silence to weaken your faith. The seed is growing. The dawn is approaching. The answer is moving. The preparation is nearly complete. And what you called silence was actually one of the greatest demonstrations of my faithfulness. Because while you were waiting for me to move, I was already moving on your behalf. My beloved child, there is a truth I need you to understand about the battles you have faced. Not every attack came because you were weak. Not every struggle appeared because you were failing. Not every storm arrived because you were headed in the wrong direction. In fact, some of the fiercest battles came because you were moving in exactly the right direction. The enemy attacked what he feared most. He attacked the future I placed inside you. He attacked the purpose I assigned to you. He attacked the calling that was growing within you. He attacked the blessing that was waiting ahead of you. My child, the enemy does not waste his energy on what carries no threat to his plans. He targets what has value. He opposes what has purpose. He resists what has potential. That is why some seasons felt unusually difficult. That is why some attacks seemed relentless. That is why some battles appeared to come from every direction at once. The enemy saw something in your future that you could not yet see. He recognized the growth taking place inside you. He recognized the faith being developed through your struggles. He recognized the testimony that would one day emerge from your pain. And he feared it. He feared the person you were becoming. He feared the influence you would carry. He feared the lives you would impact. He feared the freedom you would walk in. So he tried to stop you before you arrived there. My child, think about how many times you almost quit. How many times did discouragement whisper that there was no point in continuing? How many times did fear convince you that your efforts were meaningless? How many times did doubt tell you that your prayers were accomplishing nothing? Those whispers were not random. The enemy wanted to wear down your faith. He wanted to exhaust your hope. He wanted you to surrender before the breakthrough arrived, because he understood something you did not yet understand. You were closer than you realized. Many people assume that opposition means they are moving away from their purpose. But often the opposite is true. Sometimes the strongest resistance appears just before the greatest breakthrough. The enemy does not panic when you are standing still. He panics when you begin moving toward what God has prepared for you. He panics when you continue trusting despite disappointment. He panics when you keep praying despite delays. He panics when you keep believing despite uncertainty, because every step of faith weakens his influence over your life. My beloved, there were moments when you thought the attacks were evidence that God had abandoned you. But what if they were evidence that heaven was preparing something significant? What if the pressure was revealing the value of what was inside you? What if the battle itself was proof that your future carried extraordinary purpose? Consider Joseph. Before the palace came the pit. Before the promotion came the prison. Before the fulfillment came the testing. The attacks did not cancel his destiny. They became part of the journey toward it. Consider David. Before the throne came the wilderness. Before the crown came the giant. Before the victory came the opposition. The battle was not evidence that God had forgotten him. The battle was evidence that God was preparing him. And my child, the same is true for you. The attacks you experienced were never stronger than my power. The storms you faced were never greater than my authority. The obstacles before you were never beyond my ability to remove. I was with you through every battle. I strengthened you when you felt weak. I protected you when you did not realize danger was near. I sustained you when your strength was running low. And because I was with you, the enemy could not accomplish what he intended. You may have been wounded, but you survived. You may have been shaken, but you remained standing. You may have cried, but you did not surrender. You may have stumbled, but you did not stay down. My child, that alone is evidence of my faithfulness. The enemy wanted your pain to destroy your faith. Instead, it deepened it. He wanted your disappointment to separate you from me. Instead, it brought you closer. He wanted your struggles to define your future. Instead, they prepared you for it. And now I need you to see your battles from a different perspective. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of endless attacks. Begin seeing yourself as someone being prepared for greater things. Begin recognizing that the pressure was producing strength. The waiting was producing patience. The struggle was producing wisdom. The battle was producing endurance. Nothing has been wasted. Every challenge has been building something inside you. Every trial has been shaping your character. Every difficult season has been preparing you for the doors that are about to open. My beloved child, the enemy attacked what he feared most. He attacked the purpose within you. He attacked the promise over you. He attacked the future prepared for you. But he failed. You are still here. You are still believing. You are still listening to my voice. And that means the story is not over. In fact, it means something powerful is drawing near. Because the fiercest attacks often happen when the breakthrough is closest. And I tell you now, the battle was not evidence of defeat. The battle was evidence that your breakthrough is near. My beloved friend, if this message is speaking directly to your heart right now, do not ignore what you are feeling. Perhaps these words have described battles no one else knows about. Perhaps they have reminded you that God has not forgotten you. Perhaps they have awakened hope where fear once lived. If that is you, take a moment and type, "I receive this word," in the comments below. Let that declaration be an act of faith. Let it be your way of saying, "Lord, I trust you even when I cannot see the whole picture." And if you believe God is preparing a breakthrough in your life, take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. You are not walking this journey alone. There are thousands of believers listening to this message right now, standing in faith, praying, waiting, and trusting God together. Stay with me, because what God wants to reveal next may be exactly what your heart needs to hear today. My beloved child, many people expect a new season to begin with a dramatic miracle, a sudden breakthrough, or an unmistakable sign from heaven. Sometimes it happens that way, but often, before the visible breakthrough arrives, I begin changing things within you. The signs appear in your spirit before they appear in your circumstances, and I want you to recognize them, because your season is changing. The first sign is this: you no longer find satisfaction in the things that once distracted you. Activities, habits, and pursuits that once consumed your attention no longer fulfill you the way they used to. You feel a holy dissatisfaction growing within you. You cannot explain it. You simply know that you were made for something more. That restlessness is not confusion, it is preparation. I am loosening your attachment to the old, so you can embrace the new. The second sign is that your hunger for my presence has increased. Even if you have struggled in your faith, there is a deeper longing inside you now. You find yourself thinking about me more often. You find yourself praying more sincerely. You find yourself searching for hope, truth, and purpose. This is not accidental. When I am preparing someone for a new season, I draw them closer to my heart before I release them into their next assignment. The third sign is that certain doors are closing. I know this one can be painful. Relationships change, plans fall apart, opportunities disappear. What once seemed secure suddenly becomes uncertain. You may think something is going wrong, but often, closed doors are evidence that I am redirecting your path. Do not mourn every door that closes. Some doors close because greater ones are about to open. The fourth sign is that you feel uncomfortable remaining where you are. The place that once felt familiar now feels too small. The mindset that once felt normal no longer fits. The limitations you once accepted are becoming difficult to tolerate. This discomfort is not punishment. It is growth. A seed cannot remain a seed forever. A bird cannot remain in the shell forever, and you cannot remain in yesterday's season forever. I am calling you forward. The fifth sign is that hope is returning, not because everything has changed, but because something inside you is changing. There was a time when discouragement seemed stronger than expectation. There was a time when fear seemed louder than faith. But now, even in difficult circumstances, a quiet confidence is beginning to rise. You are starting to believe again. You are starting to dream again. You are starting to expect good things again. That hope is not coming from your circumstances. It is coming from me. I am breathing fresh life into your spirit. My child, another sign that your season is changing is that the battles themselves are changing. The enemy becomes more aggressive when he senses movement. He becomes more determined when he realizes he is losing his grip. Do not be alarmed if you encounter resistance. Resistance is not always a sign that you are going the wrong way. Sometimes it is evidence that you are getting closer. The greatest breakthroughs often come after the greatest tests. The brightest dawn often follows the darkest night, and the strongest victories often emerge from the hardest battles. My beloved, I want you to pay attention to what is happening within you. The person listening to this message today is not the same person who entered the last season. You have grown. You have matured. You have learned lessons that comfort could never teach. You have survived things that once seemed impossible. And because of that, you are prepared for what comes next. The season is changing. The atmosphere is shifting. The preparation is nearing completion. Do not become discouraged because you cannot yet see everything I am doing. Trust the signs. Trust the process. Trust my timing. For just as winter eventually gives way to spring, your current season will not last forever. Something new is beginning. Something greater is approaching. And soon, you will look back and realize that these signs were not random at all. They were evidence that I was leading you into the next chapter of your story. So lift your eyes, my child. Lift your faith. Lift your expectation. Because your season is changing, and what I have prepared for you is closer than you think. My beloved child, there is a reason the enemy has been working so hard to fill your mind with fear. Fear is often the last weapon he uses when he realizes He cannot stop what I have already planned. He knows he cannot cancel my promises. He knows he cannot overturn my purpose. He knows he cannot remove my hand from your life. So instead, he tries to convince you to walk away from the very thing I am bringing toward you. That is why I say to you now, do not let fear talk you out of your miracle. Fear will always present itself as wisdom. It will tell you to lower your expectations so you cannot be disappointed. It will tell you not to trust again because you were hurt before. It will tell you not to pray boldly because previous prayers seemed unanswered. It will tell you not to dream because dreams can be broken. But fear never tells you the whole story. Fear only shows you what could go wrong. It never shows you what I am about to make right. My child, how many blessings have people missed because fear convinced them to stay where they were? How many opportunities have been abandoned because fear spoke louder than faith? How many miracles remained unseen because someone stopped believing one step too soon? Do not make that mistake. You have come too far to turn back now. You have survived too much to surrender now. You have prayed too long to quit now. The very fact that you are hearing these words today is evidence that I am strengthening you for what comes next. The enemy wants you to focus on your limitations. I want you to focus on my power. The enemy wants you to remember every failure. I want you to remember every time I carried you through. The enemy wants you to expect disappointment. I want you to expect my faithfulness. Remember, my child, fear always grows strongest when you are standing closest to change. The Israelites experienced fear standing at the edge of the promised land. Peter experienced fear while walking on the water. David faced fear before confronting Goliath. Every person who stepped into a greater season had to first overcome the voice of fear, and now it is your turn. The voice of fear may be telling you that nothing is changing, but look at how far I have already brought you. You are not where you used to be. The person who once felt completely hopeless is beginning to believe again. The person who once thought the story was over is listening for my voice again. The person who once wanted to give up is still standing. That is growth. That is evidence of my work within you. My beloved child, miracles are not received by those who never feel afraid. Miracles are received by those who choose faith even while fear is speaking. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is trusting me despite fear. Faith is not pretending the storm does not exist. Faith is believing that I am greater than the storm. Right now, there may be situations in your life that seem impossible. A financial burden, a broken relationship, a health challenge, an unanswered prayer, a door that refuses to open. Fear wants you to look at those things and conclude that nothing will ever change. But I am asking you to look again, not through the eyes of fear, through the eyes of faith, because what looks impossible to you is not impossible to me. I specialize in situations that seem hopeless. I open doors no one can open. I restore what others declared lost. I heal what others considered beyond repair. I make a way where no way appears to exist. Do not allow fear to make permanent conclusions based on temporary circumstances. Your current situation is not your final destination. This chapter is not the end of your story. The battle is not bigger than my power. The obstacle is not stronger than my promise. And the delay is not greater than my timing. My child, I need you to hear this with all your heart. The enemy is not fighting your present. He is fighting your future. He is not afraid of where you are. He is afraid of where I am taking you. He is afraid of what will happen when you fully trust me. He is afraid of the testimony that will come from your breakthrough. He is afraid of the lives you will encourage after I bring you through this season. That is why fear has been so persistent. But today, I want you to make a decision. Stop agreeing with fear. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios. Stop allowing doubt to sit on the throne of your mind. Instead, choose faith. Choose trust. Choose expectation. Choose to believe that I am still working, still moving, still opening doors, and still performing miracles. Because your breakthrough is not behind you, it is ahead of you. And if you keep walking with me, refusing to listen to fear, you will soon discover that the miracle you have been praying for was closer than you ever imagined. My beloved child, after all the waiting, all the praying, all the tears, and all the lessons learned in the hidden seasons, I want you to hear what I am saying to you now. I am opening a door no one can shut. Not a door created by human effort, not a door dependent on someone's approval, not a door that can be locked by your enemies. This is a door opened by my hand, and what I open, no person can close. For too long you have looked at obstacles and assumed they were permanent. You looked at delays and thought they were denials. You looked at closed doors and believed they were the end of the story. But my child, I was not saying no. I was saying not yet. I was preparing the right door. I was preparing the right timing. I was preparing the right opportunity. And now the season is changing. The very things that once seemed impossible are beginning to move. The answers you have been seeking are drawing closer. The path that once seemed hidden is becoming clearer. You may not see everything yet, but trust me when I say that heaven is already arranging what is next. Some of you have been praying for a financial breakthrough. You have carried burdens that no one else fully understands. You have worried about tomorrow. You have wondered how things would work out. My child, I am your provider. I have not brought you this far to abandon you now. The door I am opening will remind you that your provision has always been in my hands. Some of you have been praying for healing. You have grown tired of carrying physical pain, emotional wounds, or spiritual exhaustion. You have asked me when restoration would come. I tell you now, healing is not beyond my reach. The same hand that formed you is able to restore you. The same power that raised the dead is able to renew what feels broken within you. Do not lose hope. The door of healing is opening. Some of you have been praying about relationships. You have experienced disappointment. You have endured rejection. You have watched people walk away and wondered why. But my child, not every departure was a loss. Some people left because they were not meant to go where I am taking you. Some doors closed because they could not support your next season. Trust me with what I remove, just as much as you trust me with what I provide. The door I am opening will bring alignment, not confusion. Peace, not chaos. Purpose, not distraction. My beloved, there are opportunities approaching that you could never have created by yourself. Conversations are being arranged. Connections are being established. Circumstances are being aligned. What seems ordinary today may become the answer to a prayer tomorrow. That is why I need you to remain expectant. Remain faithful. Remain available. Do not allow discouragement to blind you to what I am doing. Do not become so focused on yesterday's disappointments that you miss today's opportunities. I am moving. I am arranging. I am opening. I am restoring. I am healing. I am providing. I am leading. The door is not opening because you earned it. The door is opening because of my grace. Not because you are perfect. Not because you never failed. Not because you always understood my ways. The door is opening because I am faithful to my promises. My child, when this door opens, do not hesitate. Do not let fear convince you that you are unworthy. Do not let doubt tell you that it is too good to be true. When I make a way, walk through it. When I provide direction, follow it. When I release peace, receive it. The waiting season taught you trust. The battle season taught you endurance. The preparation season taught you faith. Now the next season will teach you what it means to walk in what I have prepared for you. Lift your head, lift your eyes, lift your expectations. The story is not ending where you thought it would. The delay is giving way to movement. The silence is giving way to clarity. The struggle is giving way to breakthrough. For I am the Lord who opens doors no one can shut. And the door I am opening before you is leading into a season greater than anything you have imagined. My beloved child, before I bring this message closer to its conclusion, I want you to pause and look back for a moment. Look at who you were when this season began. Look at the fears you carried. Look at the doubts that controlled your thoughts. Look at the burdens that seemed impossible to bear. Now look at yourself today. You may not feel stronger. You may not feel transformed. You may still see areas of weakness and struggle, but I see something different. I see growth. I see maturity. I see faith that has survived storms. I see strength that was forged through hardship. You are not the same person you used to be. The trials that came to break you have actually changed you. The waiting season taught you patience. The disappointments taught you discernment. The setbacks taught you perseverance. The battles taught you how to depend on me. You once believed that strength meant having all the answers. Now you know that true strength comes from trusting me even when answers are missing. You once thought faith meant never feeling afraid. Now you understand that faith means moving forward even when fear is present. You once depended heavily on people. Now you have learned how to lean on me. My child, some of the changes inside you happen so gradually that you hardly noticed them. But heaven noticed. I noticed. The way you respond to difficulties is different now. The way you view challenges is different now. The way you pray is different now. The way you trust is different now. You have been transformed by the very season you wished would end, and that transformation was part of my purpose all along. The enemy wanted your struggles to make you bitter. Instead, they made you wiser. He wanted your pain to make you quit. Instead, it taught you endurance. He wanted your disappointments to destroy your faith. Instead, they deepened your relationship with me. That is why I tell you not to return to who you used to be. Do not return to old fears. Do not return to old mindsets. Do not return to old habits that kept you trapped. Do not return to the version of yourself that lived constantly controlled by doubt. You have come too far to go backward now. The person who once accepted defeat is gone. The person who believed every negative voice is gone. The person who thought their future was hopeless is gone. A new version of you has emerged through the fire. A stronger version, a wiser version, a more faithful version. My beloved, the next season requires the person you have become. That is why I allowed you to grow through what you went through. The blessings ahead require greater faith. The opportunities ahead require greater wisdom. The doors ahead require greater maturity. And through every battle I have been preparing you. So stop measuring yourself by who you used to be. Stop defining yourself by old failures. Stop viewing yourself through the lens of past mistakes. See yourself the way I see you. You are growing. You are healing. You are becoming. The process is working. The transformation is real. And although the journey has been difficult, it has not been meaningless. One day you will look back and realize that the person who entered this season could never have carried the blessing waiting in the next one, but the person you are becoming can. So lift your head, my child. Stand confidently in what I have done within you. You are not who you used to be. You have been refined, strengthened, and prepared. And the next chapter of your story will reveal just how much I have been transforming you all along. My beloved child, every journey eventually arrives at a moment of decision, and now you have arrived at yours. Throughout this message, I have reminded you that I saw your battles. I have shown you that the delay was not punishment. I have revealed that my silence was actually preparation. I have reminded you that the attacks were proof of the purpose I placed inside you. Now the question is no longer what I am doing. The question is what you will do. Will you continue carrying yesterday's fears into tomorrow's opportunities? Or will you trust me? Will you keep looking at what is impossible? Or will you look at the God who makes all things possible? My child, many people stand at the edge of a new season, yet never enter it because they refuse to make a decision. They remain trapped between faith and fear, between trust and doubt, between obedience and hesitation. Do not remain there. Think of the Israelites standing before the Red Sea. The waters did not part until they moved forward. Think of Joshua standing before Jericho. The walls did not fall until faith took action. Think of Peter standing in the boat. The miracle did not happen until he stepped out. Each of them faced a decision. And now so do you. I am not asking you to understand everything. I am not asking you to know every detail of the future. I am asking you to trust me. Trust me with the unanswered questions. Trust me with the closed doors. Trust me with the waiting. Trust me with the process. Because everything changes when faith becomes greater than fear. My beloved, heaven is not asking for perfection. Heaven is asking for surrender. A simple yes, a willing heart, a decision to believe that I am who I say I am, and that I will do what I have promised. Today, you stand at a crossroads. One path is fear, hesitation, and doubt. The other path is faith, trust, and expectation. Choose faith. Choose hope. Choose to believe that your story is still being written, for your next season does not begin when circumstances change. Your next season begins the moment you decide to trust me completely. And if you choose faith today, you will soon discover that the breakthrough you have been praying for was already on its way. My child, this is your moment of decision, and your next season begins with your next yes. My beloved child, before this message comes to an end, I want you to hold on to one final truth. One day, you will understand why you had to wait. Right now, there may still be questions you cannot answer. There may still be moments you do not fully understand. There may still be wounds that have not completely healed and prayers that seem unfinished. But trust me when I tell you this, nothing has been wasted. Not the tears, not the delays, not the disappointments, not the lonely nights, not the battles you fought when no one else knew what you were carrying. Every part of your journey has been woven into a greater story. There will come a day when you look back and see what you cannot see now. You will understand why certain doors had to close. You will understand why certain people had to leave. You will understand why some answers took longer than you wanted. You will understand why I protected you from things you once begged for. And when that day comes, you will not regret the waiting. You will thank me for it, because you will see that my timing was never working against you. It was working for you. You will realize that while you were asking me to change your circumstances, I was also transforming your heart. While you were praying for a blessing, I was preparing you to carry it. While you were focused on the destination, I was shaping you through the journey. My child, I know the road has not been easy, but you did not walk it alone. I was with you in every storm. I was with you in every valley. I was with you in every moment you thought you could not go on, and I am still with you now. So do not lose heart. Do not allow temporary circumstances to convince you that your future is uncertain. Your future is in my hands, and my plans for you remain good. Lift your eyes beyond this moment. Lift your faith above what you currently see. The chapter you are living is not the final chapter. A new season is beginning. A new testimony is being written. A new door is opening. And one day, when you look back on everything I brought you through, you will smile and say, "Now I understand. God was faithful the entire time." Heavenly Father, thank you for every person listening to this message right now. Thank you for seeing every battle they have fought, every tear they have cried, and every burden they have carried. Even when they felt alone, you were with them. Even when they could not see your hand, you were working on their behalf. Lord, I pray that you fill their hearts with peace that surpasses all understanding. Replace fear with faith. Replace anxiety with confidence in your promises. Replace discouragement with renewed hope. Father, for those who are waiting for breakthrough, give them strength to keep trusting you. For those who need healing, let your restoring touch be upon their lives. For those facing financial struggles, relationship challenges, or unanswered prayers, remind them that nothing is impossible for you. Help them to walk boldly through every door you open. Give them wisdom to follow your direction and courage to obey your voice. Let them feel your presence surrounding them today and in the days ahead. We declare that you are faithful, that your timing is perfect, and that your plans are good. Thank you for the new season you are bringing. Thank you for the breakthrough that is on the way. And thank you for never leaving us nor forsaking us. In the mighty name of Jesus we pray. Amen. Before you leave, my friend, I want you to do something powerful. Do not let this message end as just another video you watched. Let it become a declaration of faith. If you believe that God is working behind the scenes even when you cannot see it, type this in the comments. I trust God's timing. If you believe that your season is changing and that God is opening a door no one can shut, type, "My breakthrough is coming." And if you are choosing today to walk by faith instead of fear, declare, "I receive God's promises." There is power in agreeing with what God says about your life. Every time you choose faith over fear, hope over despair, and trust over doubt, you are positioning your heart to receive what God is doing. Also, if this message encouraged you, take a moment to share it with someone who may be struggling right now. You never know whose faith might be strengthened because of one simple act of kindness. And if you have not already subscribed, join our growing family of believers. Together we pray, grow in faith, and encourage one another through every season of life. Remember this as you leave today. You are chosen. You are loved. You are not forgotten. You are not fighting alone. God is working even now. The delay was not denial. The silence was not abandonment. The battle was not the end. Your story is still being written. And the God who carried you through every storm will carry you into every promise He has prepared for you. Stand in faith, walk in hope, trust in His timing, and expect great things, because your next season is closer than you think. May God bless you, strengthen you, and fill your heart with His peace. In Jesus' name, amen.